Warning. The following podcast is intended for a mature audience due to the dropping of bombs of the F, S, B, and C varieties. Listener discretion is advised.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 159, we're going to be talking about the world's least popular politician, the man who could be the next president of these United States of America, if everyone keeps their word. We're going to be twisting into the movie review segment, and much, much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. Episode number, what is this, 159?
159.
Of the Waffle Box. Original Waffle Box. It's the best part of Wednesdays. It's the people's podcast, and you accept no substitutions. Coming to you all the way from the future on the Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this, and we do this because we love you. Producer Lathan, what's happening?
What's cracking, fellas? Would you mind if I tell you a quick story? I was going for a walk the other day, and I stepped on a bag of dog shit. I didn't step on dog shit. I stepped on a literal bag of dog shit. Like, the dog's owner did the difficult part of picking up the shit with the bag, tied the little knot, and then thought, fuck it, I'll just leave it here. You did the hard part. Just put it in the goddamn trash, you fucking asshole. And breathe. I feel so much better now. How are you two?
Comparatively, I'm very well.
Comparatively, also very well. Yes.
But yeah, it's pretty annoying.
We have talked about this on the Waffle Box before. So I hate nothing more than when a dog owner. I hate dog owners more than I hate dogs. That excludes personal company here because you're quite responsible, and to the point where we're like, geez, dude, I don't need to do that much, but okay, I appreciate that. Anyway, yeah, I hate dog owners who don't pick up after their dogs. However, once it's in the bag, I really kind of don't care, and I'm still looking out for the bag. So I hope producer Lathan's Nikes did not get smudged, but I still get it. It doesn't work me to that level, but I get it.
Because it could be worse. If there's a lot of air trapped in that bag, and you step on it, and it pops.
Pops. Yep. That's what I was saying. But yeah, you added the extra detail. You.
Wash your hands.
I don't know why I did that, but you.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I still understand.
How you been, buddy? What you been up to?
We had a productive weekend, man. We reinstalled a new toilet seat.
Ooh.
And then changed a couple shower heads, and yeah, it was. We actually had an intruder.
Oh.
No one actually broke into the house, but some hobo from Colorado who's been in San Francisco for 6 months now. This is all the information the police gave me, except for what I did witness. Decided to come into my backyard and literally take a nap at 10 in the morning under my Ring camera. We have cameras on all four corners of the house. And this guy, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good shot for me to take. Just lay my head down and like, what's the whole thing was extraordinarily weird. However, what was funny was and I don't know if you can hear this, but this is the sound of Mama Hayes knocking on my door. And I'm like, bitch, are you knocking? And she comes and was like, shh. I was like, what are we shushing about? She's like, there's a guy asleep in the backyard. And I was like, well, I don't think we're going to wake him. And sure enough, like, at first I checked the cameras. I looked out a window. I didn't see nothing, but got downstairs, looked out the back window, and sure enough, there's a dude with a blanket just in a fetal position. So we called the cops. They showed up, I don't know how fast, 10 minutes, less than 15. They did not arrest him, but, it was also just like, yeah, this guy's clearly just wants a place to rest his head. Why he's doing it in front of the house with the cameras,
Well,
I don't understand.
maybe he didn't know there was cameras there.
Or
he was
maybe
pretty
he was just like,
tuckered
well,
out.
I'll be safer here under the camera.
Wow,
No one's gonna stab me in this friendly neighborhood under the camera.
maybe smart thinking.
Oh, I actually sent you some surveillance footage of it,
Did.
and I was just like, yeah, I'm bamboozled. I'm flabbergasted. I'm shocked and stunned and awed and generally just confused again.
I mean, not that I should
Uh,
complain, but nothing about exciting like that happens on my Ring camera. It's just a mail lady again.
keep
Oh,
it going,
there she
man.
is.
Yeah, keep that streak going.
Um, let me tell you what I did today, right?
Mm, please
So
do.
I went for a nice massage, right? It was
Nice.
very nice. So
Jealous.
I was hoping to feel very zen. So I went for
Hmm.
it was $60 in Palisades Park in New Jersey for an
Okay.
hour-long full body massage with a 15-minute foot massage at the end.
Not comfortable with that last part, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah,
Don't touch my feet, bitch.
to each their own. But anyway, so I'm laying there on my front. Woman's going to town on my back. All very
You
nice.
might
All very nice.
rephrase that, but nice, nice, nice.
But I'm not going to name the business itself. But I do wish that
Fair.
they would soundproof their rooms a little better. Because every now and
Yes.
again, just when I was getting no, I wouldn't have minded that because at least it was just like every now and again I was just starting to like get into that, that half asleep. I'm so relaxed, I'm like half
I do.
asleep.
Yeah. It's a great feeling.
And then I would hear,
Oh no. Seriously?
there must have been like a
No.
bathroom right outside my room,
There was
and
definitely a bathroom right outside of your room. No
and everyone
bueno.
needed a piss, apparently.
Lame.
Very lame.
But that's also why it's $60 for the hour.
Yeah, that was a bonus. Brucey bonus, that was. Get to
So
hear
yeah.
some more ambient noises to relax your mind.
Yeah, I think I would be more irritated than when I went in there. If I had to keep hearing the constant toilet flush. But yeah, honestly, I thought it was just like someone had that knot in their back, like finally worked. They go, "Ah!" Like it hurts, but once that knot's out, oh man, everything's so much better. But that is the noise you make when the
I did
knot in your
overhear one
shoulder.
conversation, and
You heard a
so
conversation? No,
so
no, this is getting worse.
I'm not gonna assume the background of this woman that was in the other room getting a massage. But what you need to know about this is Palisades Park in New Jersey is a very, very Korean neighborhood, right?
Okay, fair.
And so when I heard this woman mid massage say to her masseuse, "How much of massage is in China?" I did have to chuckle. It's like, oh,
I would laugh I'm laughing now. So yes, I would have also laughed at that.
so to be fair, her masseuse may have been Chinese, but I'm going to assume she wasn't. But there you go.
Probably not.
Right, real quick before we get into the top stories this week, because I don't want to tarnish the top stories with my soapbox moment, but I'm going to jump on my soapbox a little bit. Right. So
Jump up on that box.
right, we don't talk about politics on this show unless it's
not.
funny. Like we don't give opinions. We don't we don't want to try to lean one way or the other because we don't want to upset anyone. But there was a celebrity because we are ramping up towards November 5th, where the elections of these United States of America is happening, right? And
Which,
so,
by the way, I don't want to cut you off there, but if anyone on this show should actually give an opinion, it's you because you're you're not from here. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I didn't want to call you a foreigner.
you're not from around
You're
here,
not from
boy.
here.
But this is like the time when we start getting random celebrities saying, I'm endorsing this person. This is what happens, right?
Okay.
Right, I'm not going to mention the person that they're endorsing,
There you
right? Because it doesn't matter.
go.
But
It's pretty irrelevant right now.
I saw a story saying Kerry Katona was endorsing someone for the U.S. election, president election, right?
Who's Harry Katona?
Exactly, right? So Kerry Katona, let me explain who Kerry Katona is. Kerry Katona was in a girl
Harry
group
Katona. In a girl group.
called Atomic Kitten from the years 1998 to 2001 before she left the band and got replaced because I think she was enjoying extracurricular activities too much. Let's
Okay.
just say that.
Okay.
And so
Not
since
familiar
then,
with the group, but a great name. I like the name. I don't know anything they've done.
ever since she's been bouncing around reality TV in the UK, right? But
Fascinating. Oh, it's a British group.
she is the kind of level of celebrity in the UK where if someone says, "Hey, do you remember, Kerry Katona?" You're like, "Who?" And then you're like, "Oh, she was in Atomic Kitten." You're like, "Ah, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I remember her. What's she up to nowadays, right?" That's the kind of level she's at right now in the UK. Imagine, by your reaction, where she is right now in America in terms of celebrity. Exactly. And so it's like, why the fuck? Who does she think she is by coming out and saying, I think people should vote for this person? Like, who in America is on the fence right now as to who should I vote Republican or should I vote Democrat? Let me find out what 1998 UK pop star thinks about this situation. It's like I'm not doing this thing, where they say, "Oh, if a basketball player says something about, I'll stick to playing basketball." Yeah, I'm not that. I'm not saying that, but it's like,
Sure.
no, you'd be like me endorsing someone in the Sri Lankan election. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why are you? Who does your opinion matter on this situation? I don't know. It just winds me up when.
Yeah, I get it.
If you want to vote for them, you can't because you're British. Shut the fuck up.
So is she married to an American guy?
I don't know. She's irrelevant.
All right,
Kush.
honest answer. That's an honest answer. I would imagine she's married to an American guy and is just being bombarded with this stuff. However, the entire world is exposed to our politics. Like, folks really want to know whether Joe Biden was going to drop out this week or not. Like, in Europe, in the UK, in Japan, definitely in North Korea. Like the world wanted to know what was going to happen in these United States in the next 5 months. Like, I don't understand it. The first time I went to the Netherlands, I got off the plane, made it through customs, walked out the front door of the airport, and sure enough, there's a goddamn big screen TV there, and Donald Trump was running for his first term. And I was like, fucking left the country and I can't even escape this guy. God damn it. Like, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. So I'm gonna guess she's married to an American guy.
Well, I just looked up on Wikipedia right now. Apparently, she's just had her third divorce.
Third
So,
divorce. Damn, bitch, are you Elizabeth Taylor? Oh, excuse me. Let me modernize that. Damn, bitch, are you J-Lo? What the?
so yeah, I don't know if she's in a relationship. Maybe she's in a relationship with America right now. I don't know, but for some reason, she's obsessed with a certain U.S. candidate, and it's just kind of like, why? Who cares? What
You know,
you
there's a
think?
lot
No
of Americans
offense.
out here that are obsessed with British culture as well. And you'll be surprised who is. You're just like, really? Why do you give a shit about that? Like, okay, I guess whatever.
Hmm. Different strokes for
Yeah,
different
lots of
folks.
grunts.
Anyway, let's move into what's been happening recently in the world by talking about
So
this
much.
week's top stories.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
This week's first top
Bubbles.
story. Kush, I'm glad you're sitting down for this because I didn't know if you was aware, but coming out at the end of this week, there's a movie called Deadpool and Wolverine coming out this week.
I might have heard something about that. I think I saw it on a pizza box. Even
their marketing has been very quiet leading up to this. I'm surprised anyone knows about this.
Dense.
But yeah. So I know you texted me a couple of weeks ago wanting to talk about this, and I concur with your thoughts about this. But I know your thought is about the specificness about the trailers. But mine was you can go into the more detail on this, but there seems to be so many goddamn trailers for this movie that I'm still hyped for this movie. I love Deadpool.
Okay.
I'm very much excited about the movie. I will still see it. It hasn't turned me off.
That's all good.
But
that's all very good.
Whenever I see Ryan Reynolds, bless his heart, post on Twitter about another trailer, I'm like, is this movie not out yet? Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it seems like, because what, the first teaser came out at the Super Bowl halftime? That seems like
the first
years
teaser
ago.
came out like a year before the Super Bowl, dude.
They did
was like, hey, Hugh Jackman, you want to be in the next Deadpool movie? It's like, I guess. But that was the first teaser. And I remember saying on the waffle, I was like, he's just going to be in the movie for like 5 minutes, right, Mike Fish? And then sure enough, they were like, no, the movie's called Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, oh, I guess it's going to be a lot longer then. My bad. How stupid do I feel? Not really.
But yeah, there's too many trailers, and I think I joked to you about this via text message that I think if you spliced all of the trailers together, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to give a pretty good review of the fucking movie at this point. There's so many, and there's so much information out there on this movie. It's disgusting. Do you concur?
Semi-concur. I don't believe I could do a full review from the trailers all spliced together because they're very quick bursts. It's pat, pat, pat. However, yeah, we are now in that time where it's safe to say this is like the most anticipated movie of 2024, regardless of what Kush Hayes feels about it. However, again, like I need to review this movie next week. And you know what? While I'm not excited about it, I don't want to see all of it in the goddamn trailers. I want to see it all in the marketing. So I'm surprised what's happening here. Like, there's a Deadpool Wolverine. I'm just gonna say Deadpool 3 from now on. There's a Deadpool 3 pizza. There's a Deadpool 3 wine. I believe Aviation Gin, which is a Ryan Reynolds thing. They got their own line of Deadpool 3 promotional vodkas. It's all over the place. And then
it's all over the Heineken commercials as well.
Oh, there are Heineken commercials? Jesus fucking Christ. So, dude, like again, my beautiful 4K TV here, like I don't have cable. So like when we were talking about the Euro Cup last week, I was like, well, so do I need to find a Fox or do you know a YouTube channel? Anyway, going through my recommendations, sure enough, oh, here's another Deadpool 3 trailer. And it's like, look, guys, everyone who wants to see this movie knows the date. They've already written it down on their calendar. But it's the newest, biggest movie pre-sale on Fandango. All the goddamn hashtags and quotation marks. We don't need any more goddamn trailers. So like when I'm seeing like, apologize if I spoil this for you, Mike Fish. Lady Deadpool, Girl Pool. I don't know what to call her, but apparently
there's Dog Pool.
There's Dog Pool. Yeah, I don't want to see any of that before the goddamn movie.
It's kind of like
I just don't.
We don't know. I'd like to think that they're giving away this much information because there's still way more bigger things and crazy shit that's going to happen that's going to blow our minds. So we don't know how much of a huge spoiler this is. But this is kind of like if when the old Spider-Man movie was coming out, if they named one of the trailers 3 Spider-Men, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. And they did a very good job about hiding that, despite everybody predicting it and anticipating it. But yeah, there was never a trailer going like, there's gonna be 3 Spider-Men in this movie. Like they didn't do that shit. And that was maybe the one good thing about Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man 3. New Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. That it.
Yeah,
But yeah, stop.
fuck this marketing.
Fuck the marketing. But yeah, the movie's gonna be great, and I'm gonna be a fanboy, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this is right. I'm sure next
It'll
time
probably
we
be
speak.
fine. It'll probably be very good even. Like I don't like the character Deadpool. I'm sure I've said this plenty of times on the Waffle Box.
How dare you?
I never saw Deadpool 1 in the theater. A friend of mine, I had to hang out at his house. Like, you want to watch Deadpool? I was like, yeah, we can watch Deadpool. All right, whatever. And I got it. And I understood what it was before going into it. And I understood what it was leaving it. And I was like, all right. My biggest complaint about this movie was that DVD intro scene that they do on iTunes also, where like DMX is now just screaming in my ear, but the rest of the movie is muted by 15%. I hate that shit. However, I would see Deadpool 2 in the theater. It's actually the movie was only okay. It was the same goddamn movie. However, that opening sequence where they kill Vanessa and then Deadpool, spoilers for that movie that came out 5 years ago, and we're getting a sequel to next week. Deadpool just like hugs her assassin and then gets hit by a bus. I was like, that was like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like I shed a
Great
tear.
scene.
Goddamn scene, right? So guess like I'm conflicted. I would like to be excited about this movie. I am not. However, I've already got my goddamn ticket for it. We don't need all the extra marketing. I sincerely don't think we do for part 3. I think we can cut back a little on the marketing budget.
It'd be interesting to see how much because this is the first Deadpool in MCU, but how
True.
much
True.
they how much they build the storyline in that they maybe give you nuggets at the beginning. So technically, I mean, everyone who's going to see this movie's probably seen 1 and 2 anyway. But if they give enough information to where you don't need to have seen 1 and 2, if that makes sense, where they just feed you a little bit of information enough where the storyline makes sense if you haven't seen 1 or 2.
I think if you haven't seen 1 or 2, but happen to watch Loki 1 or 2, the TV series on Disney Plus, based on what little I know and what little I've what little I've absorbed, you're gonna follow it just from Loki season 1 and 2. If you've never seen Deadpool 1 or 2,
Yes. And you wasn't a huge fan of Loki, right?
I liked part 1. I did not chime in for part 2, but also my problems with part 1 was like they get into a fight every 20 minutes. This episode, this series is 45 minutes each episode, and for whatever reason, every 20 minutes they gotta get into a fight. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So, but that's why it was a TV show.
Great TV show. Yeah, Deadpool as this gets released, I believe comes out tomorrow, Thursday.
Yes. I mean, the early previews might even be happening right now on Wednesday.
As we speak.
As we speak.
So yeah. Spoiler alert. Deadpool and Wolverine will probably be the movie review for next week's show, 160.
We're gonna make it.
All right.
Make it work.
Also in the world, right, is politics, is election season. And we start this story going up north in the white, snowy area that is Canada, where Felix Antoine Hamel from Canada has recently become
Canadian.
the first candidate in the nation's history to receive 0 votes in a federal election. No.
Zero flat votes.
0.
No one voted for him.
No one voted for him. So there's some backstory to this. So he was one of 84 candidates to run in a Toronto by-election after he and 76 others were approached by election reform group, quote, Longest Ballot Committee, which packed a race with candidates to successfully create the longest ballot in Canadian history. So basically they had like 8 legit
5K.
candidates, and then now it's like,
Eight-
right, let's just
eight-
find 76 randoms so we can whack them on. 6 other candidates received only 2 votes, but Felix Antoine was the only person not to get any votes. Now you're wondering, well, I've seen elections before. They all normally do that bit at the beginning when the polls open where the person walks in and votes for himself. So he at least gets one. Why didn't Felix vote for himself? Well, he couldn't vote for himself because he wasn't a Toronto resident and therefore he was not eligible to even vote in the election that he was technically running in.
Got that at the very beginning.
But always looking on the bright side, Felix said, when I saw the result, I was like, wow, I am the true unity candidate. Everyone agrees not to vote for me.
I mean, if that makes you feel better, and brother.
I have to commend this man on how well he took this. Even if I knew I
Yeah,
had only
right.
entered the election as a joke, I'm not sure my ego could take knowing that not even one person voted for me. This is worse than getting picked last at school to play sports, because at least then you eventually got picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, we don't follow much Canadian politics here, but yeah,
No.
this is very reminiscent of the Canadian recall. Pardon my bourbon. This is very reminiscent of the California recall, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually elected into office as governor of the state.
I'm the
yeah.
governor. That was a terrible.
Couldn't even pronounce the name of the state he was in. It was quite embarrassing. And we did a review of the documentary about him, and he brought it up, and he was like, I mean, I tried, guys. I'm not gonna impersonate him. But he's like, I tried. No one wanted my bullshit. I tried. I really tried. I tried to do good, and they didn't want it. Everything I was like, yeah, what about the schools? And they're like, no.
Get to the
What
chopper.
about the elderly? No. What about this? No. So I have a feeling this was reminiscent of that.
Well, one person who probably will get more than 0 votes in this upcoming election, right? So this story, I'd written this all out with the prefix that the main 2 candidates were going to be Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And then, as we know, this past weekend, Joey B decides to step away and not run for re-election. And as of recording this, even though it does seem like it's going to be Kamala Harris, is going to be Kamala.
Kamala or Kamala.
You come and go. Yeah, we don't know who's going to be running. But anyway, but anyway, I've written out the story, so I'm going to truck on anyway. Fuck it. So I've just reworded it slightly. With what was looking like was going to be a rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden taking place in November, many people were saying that they would prefer to vote for literally anybody else to be the next president of the United States. Well,
yes,
one man from Texas has come to the rescue by legally changing his name to, quote, literally anybody else, and will be running for the president of the United States in Texas. He'll be on the ballot in Texas and Tennessee because he received enough names on a, what's the word, dude?
Petition.
Petition? There we go. Yeah. So 35-year-old military veteran and middle school math teacher, formerly known as Dustin Eby, said he is running for president to protest the current major party candidates.
You know, that's actually a very strong move. No one's going to vote for Eby, but everyone will vote for anybody else.
Literally anybody else. There's a picture of the story and his driver's license now. It's like first name, literally, middle name, anybody, last name else.
You got to go through a lot of fucking hoops for that, dude.
Right? And what made it even funnier, because I found this story on the BBC's website. Shout out to BBC.
And
And
shout out to BBC.
as they're going through, and they're saying something else about his backstory, it just made me laugh. Literally, LOL. I literally lolled when casually in the article it just says he refers to him as Mr. Else, which made me chuckle.
Mr.
So yes,
Else.
Mr. Else is running a writing campaign in Texas
Checking now.
as he did not get the required 113,000 signatures to make into the ballot, but is expected to appear by name on the Tennessee ballot, where he said he did get the required amount of signatures. Mr. Else announced Neil David Sutz, a New York man currently living in Switzerland, will be his running mate. It's good. I guess it's good that he has a running mate, but I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. But
Be a Debbie Downer. Break it down.
I'm going to assume I'm not going to be watching CNN on November 5th, and they're going to be like, breaking news. We declare we declare Tennessee for literally anybody else. Although I would love to see that. That would be hilarious. It's almost as good as when in, I think it was the London mayor elections. Then have I told you about this Lord Buckethead?
If you did,
No,
I don't remember.
Lord Binface. Sorry, Lord Binface. Count Binface.
Same reply.
Something to do with a bin on his face. So it's a guy who dresses up like Darth Vader, basically, but instead of Darth Vader mask, he wears a black trash can as a head.
Okay, good way to avoid copyright infringement.
And his character is that he is an alien that is trying to take over the world by winning elections. He's hilarious.
I mean, I guess.
I'll have to send you a picture of him. I have it saved on my phone.
Sure. I'm gonna be like, oh, I saw him down at Fisherman's Wharf the other day. Okay. So happy for him.
So yes, good luck to literally be anybody else.
No.
As we
This
fast approach.
reminds me of the Richard Pryor movie Brewster's Millions, which was actually a remake of another movie called Brewster's Millions, where someone who didn't know they had a wealthy ancestor or whatever, that person died, left him all those millions, but with a stipulation: you can have $30 million up front, but you gotta spend it all within like 30 days. And you can gamble only some of it, you can only donate some of it, blah 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 blah. So many restrictions. And then he's like, I'm gonna run for mayor. And he was like, no, he ends up running as none of the above. He doesn't change the name or anything, but he went for none of the above and spent all of the money on that campaign. And that feels reminiscent to this as well.
But he didn't legally change his name to none of the above.
He didn't legally. I mean, he could have. Maybe it's a cutout scene, but no, he did not.
Half-assed.
He was still Richard Pryor running for none of the above. He was like, hey man, both these guys running for mayor of New York are bullshit. Vote for none of the above.
So was he none of the above, or was his party called none of the above? Like Richard Pryor for the none of the above party?
He was campaigning as none of the above.
Okay.
Which means he was still Richard Pryor, but he was saying like, don't vote for either of these assholes.
Did he win?
None of the
Spoiler
above.
alert.
You know, I don't know since I've seen that movie, so I'll have to check it out. But I believe none of the above. I want to say none of the above won. Not Richard Pryor, not Richard Pryor's character, but I want to say none of the above won.
Well, there you go. So yeah, literally anybody else is going to be on the ballot in Texas and Tennessee. So very much good luck to
That's exciting.
You honestly have to give it to him for the creativity of it. In a similar situation, I was this close to legally changing my name to Tall, Dark, and Handsome, thinking it might help with the ladies. But I decided against it. I'm 95% sure I made the right decision.
Oh, producer Lathan, thinking you actually have like human rights.
You silly little goose. Get back in your AI cave.
You're named what we want you to be named. Oh, excuse my whiteness.
Marvelous stuff. Anyway, so there you go. We don't know if those people have achieved anything. Well, that Canadian guy definitely didn't achieve anything. But maybe there are some people out there achieving things with their lives, and they've achieved so much that the Irish brewery has said, "Well done, you've achieved something. Here's a piece of paper with your name on it. It's now time for this week's Dumb World Record of the week."
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Now, not to be too discriminative, discriminative. There we go. Because it's okay because I'm half Irish, but you know it's going to be a dumb world record when it comes from Ireland. Eamon Keaveney from Ireland broke the Guinness World Record for fastest crossing of Ireland on a unicycle.
Damn. Like, I mean, Ireland's not a big fucking country, dude, but on a unicycle, like I sincerely think you and I could probably walk east to west Ireland in 2 days, maybe 3 days, being discriminative or conservative. But
Well,
a unicycle, god
the
damn,
distance
dude.
covered was 308 miles.
Wow, that's amazing.
Can you
On
guess?
a unicycle, one wheel.
Can you guess how long it took him to cover 308 miles on a unicycle to break this Guinness World Record?
5 days. Perfect.
It took him 5 days, 5 hours, and 23 minutes to travel across Ireland on a unicycle. So he was traveling for 12 hours each day. And he said the record appealed to him because it seemed like the perfect mix of daunting and ridiculousness. Which is a fair, statement.
That's how usually these rewards work. Yes, sir.
No, see, if every week the person breaking these dumb world records said that, I wouldn't mind it. But some of them kind of like who's the guy, was it a week or two ago, who made the world's longest bicycle? And he was like, "Oh, it's always been my dream since a little boy to build a really long bike." Like, what? Has it?
It was the size of 2 football fields. Right?
Half a football field.
Oh, half up, still long.
Still pretty big bicycle.
Yeah, can't make any fucking turns on that shit. You can only go straight.
Mr. Keaveney said that his swollen ankles towards the end of his trip made each turn of the pedal feel like torture.
Wow.
I bet his ass hurt as well.
Yeah, his ass probably hurt as well. I mean, he'd probably. Yeah, his ass probably. We're probably not publishing that in the local print, but yeah, as I would like to imagine, he got the comfiest, softest bike seat he could get. But yeah, 12 hours a day of that shit, dude. Like my left leg goes numb if I'm in the toilet for 45 minutes. It's just bad days, Mark.
But yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if, like, when the reporters were asking him, like, "How do you feel after this record attempt, Eamon?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, my ankle was swollen, felt like torture every turn of the pedal, and I'll be quite honest, it feels like I've been fucked up the ass by a bison."
My starfish is swollen.
We're just gonna go with the ankle. Is okay? All right, bye. Thank you.
Yeah, let's just go with the ankle. But my starfish is swollen.
My butthole. But
chocolate starfish.
Hashtag bison fucking. But yeah, congratulations to Eamon Keaveney of Ireland for breaking the Guinness World Record. Golf clap. Where's the golf clap, Nathan? Thank you. Still to come on this week's Waffle Box. We've got the July 24th edition of the Birthday Blackjack. We got Kush's movie review, and we travel to the Big Apple for this week's Strip Club Yelp review, and much, much more. So stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
Genesis does technology.
Can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
What Nintendo don't. The 16-bit Genesis system by Sega. Genesis does it all.
Place your bets. It's now time for Birthday Blackjack.
I also like to live dangerously.
Yes, welcome everyone to the July 24th edition of Birthday Blackjack here on the Waffle Box podcast. If you've never played Birthday Blackjack before, the rules are as follows. I'm going to list 5 celebrities that are celebrating their birthday today, and you have to guess how old they are now, with your score being made up of the margin of error. Example, if they're 55 and you guess 54, then you score 1 point because you're 1 year out. Simple. And the name of the game is obviously to keep your score at 21 or below, as to not go bust, hence the blackjack bloody thing. Oh, that makes sense. Kush, currently you go into this week 9 and 12. Not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah, man, last week's win was like dramatic too, dude. Like, I just went like, right there at the 1 yard line.
And you finished with 21 exactly. Boom.
Yeah. Is that the first time I finished with exactly 21? Because sometimes, sometimes I'm at 60. Sometimes I've actually made it to like 14.
I'm gonna say sure.
Okay. Honest answer.
If you do want to play along, let us know what your score was in the comment section below if you are watching on YouTube or if you are listening to the audio version of the podcast. Head over to Twitter, find us at Waffle Box, and you can let us know your score. Christopher, are you ready to play?
Christopher is ready.
Let's kick it into gear.
Number 1.
Birthday person number 1. Former professional wrestler. Turned model, I think. Or she might be the model first, but then I also think she was like kind of in a relationship with George Clooney, if that helps. Tori Wilson.
Word.
Was she?
Tori
was she?
Wilson
Or was it Stacy Keibler that was with George Clooney? Anyway, doesn't matter. It's Tori Wilson. How old is Tori Wilson today?
Talking Tori Wilson. Tori Wilson, I believe, 41 years old.
Oh, she's getting 41 years old.
Yeah.
Tori Wilson.
Still have her play.
Oh, good for you. Is it still in pristine condition, or is it a little bit weather damaged, shall we say?
No, it's actually in a bag. Yeah. It's in the bag it came in. I got 2.
Oh. One of them looks like a painter's radio.
One of them is a landfill, for sure.
So your guess was 41. Tori Wilson is actually 49 years old today.
Oh, damn, bitch. Okay.
That kicks you off with a score of 8. Moving on.
Not mad at that.
Number 2.
She was mentioned earlier in this episode of Waffle Box. Singer and actress and serial Ben Affleck marrier, Miss Jennifer Lopez. How old is J-Lo? Jennifer Lopez today.
J-Lo's 52, I believe.
Guess.
Still looking good.
Oh, still looking very good. 52 is your guess. Jennifer Lopez is actually 55.
Hey, all right.
That's 3 out. So that takes
really
you
good for
up
55, man. Fucking hell.
right?
Can't wait to see what she looks like at 60.
Just wait 5 years and you'll be good.
I guess I will.
Yeah, well, you have no choice. That's how time works.
Number 3.
I'm gonna have to fucking fight death for it.
Number 3 is director of films, and she directed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84, whatever it was.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins. Happy birthday, Patty Jenkins. How old is Patty Jenkins today?
48.
Okay, straight in there. He's feeling confident. 48.
Yeah, she's not a young woman, but she's not an old lady either.
Kind of in that middle ground. Middle ground. 48 was your guess. Patty Jenkins is 53 today.
Okay. She's not a bad looking lady either. Good for her.
Sure. As should be. Her picture came up. People can judge themselves if they're watching the YouTube version. Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Another actress. And most famous, no, she's been in a bunch of stuff. She's been in a bunch of stuff. But I think most people would recognize her recently. She was like the leading lady in The Handmaid's Tale. Miss Elizabeth Moss.
Oh, yeah. Dig it. Yeah. I want to say she's
How old is
38.
Elizabeth Moss? You going with 38?
Yeah, I've never seen The Handmaid's Tale. Enjoyed her in The Invisible Man, but did not see The Handmaid's Tale. 38. I think she's been around a while, but again, 38. Final answer.
Well, if you haven't seen it, Handmaid's Tale just paints a very bleak future of the dystopian future, which, to be fair, if you're watching it and you're a man and you're white, things don't turn out too bad.
All right. Hey,
so it's just those women
there
that get the
so I should be pretty good in this test then. Yeah.
So yeah, Elizabeth Moss, you guessed 38. She's actually 42 years old.
Okay.
Which, much like last week, sticks you at 20 points.
Oh shit.
Going into the final birthday.
Gonna have that drink then. Here we go. What do we do?
Number 5.
Number 5. Controversial figure, this fella. I believe he said some naughty stuff. So, but most famously, he played Kramer on Seinfeld. It's Mr. Michael Richards. How old is Michael Richards, aka Kramer from Seinfeld?
$70.
Is going with 70. Mr. Michael Richards is 75 today, which unfortunately puts you up to a score of 25, which means, Mr. Hayes, this week, you're a loser.
You lose.
Which puts your
It
record
sucks,
up
but
to
it's amazing I got that
13.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mike Richards has been around a while, dude. So that's why I didn't go like, oh, he's 47. He's been around forever now. There was a everyone knows Saturday Night Live, the American broadcast company ABC tried to come up with their own version of Saturday Night Live called Fridays, and he was the performer on it. There was 8 other people too that I don't think did anything. But yeah, him and Andy Kaufman have a very famous incident for Friday's legacy. So anyways, 75. Well, we'll try next week.
I know he got done
22.
9 and 13.
9. Oh, well, much better than 22.
Indeed. But yeah, he got done for being a little bit of a naughty racist boy, wasn't he? Didn't he say some racist shit?
He said some very racist stuff and then tried to go like, but I'm a comedian. And it's like, no, in this situation you weren't, sir.
To be fair, he would have been better off in his defense by just saying, dude, I'm an old white man. What did you expect me to say? Like,
well, shit, that was 30 years ago, though. Like,
oh, was it that long? I thought it felt, was it?
It's been a while. Even if it was 20 years
then.
ago. Like, it was a while ago.
For some reason in my head, I thought it was like semi-recent, like 5 to 10 years ago.
No, sir.
Oh,
no.
shit.
We're talking decades ago.
Oh, well,
so
fuck that guy.
He's been canceled. Like, I don't know if he's coming back, but he's kind of a one-note dude also. Like, if you saw UHF with Weird Al Yankovic, that's Kramer. But Kramer is a janitor. But and that's before Seinfeld. So go figure.
Say the line, Bart. Let's do the Kramer bit. Shut up. Stop trying to be a actor. Anyway, that wraps up this week's Birthday Blackjack. I believe we've still got one more in July, because I believe next Wednesday is the 31st of July. Wow, this month is not going away without a fight. So yeah, if you want to share your scores, once again, on the YouTube version, put them in the comments below, or if you're listening to the audio version, and go to Twitter at Waffle Box and let us know. But that wraps up this week's A Birthday Blackjack.
One of these days, I'm going to make the effort and actually like study. Like, oh, it's the 31st of July. Who's born on this day? Probably not.
No, if you ever do that, then I'm going to like.
We're gonna have to change the game. It's not fun if we change the game. The game is fun.
No, because then like even if you like try to study, I'll just pull out like if you get the first one spot on, then I'll just pull out something like Uruguayan footballer and manager Jose Santa Maria, and you'll be like, fuck.
You can't punish me like that, but it's still probably not going to be a thing that's going to happen. So,
open another can of Coke. Cheers.
Right,
it's time for me to hop in a car or a bus and travel over the Hudson River into New York City. The town's so good they named it twice, which they didn't actually, because when they say New York, New York, they're saying New York, New York, because it's New York City and the state that it's in is in New York. So it's it's New York, New York. It's not, they don't name it twice. It's like saying San Francisco, California, New York, New York. Anyway. Who said that? Frank Sinatra? What does he know?
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's move on. It's now time for this week's Strip Club Yelp reviews.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lust and Regret.
It's now time for this week's Strip Club Yelp reviews.
Yeah. Welcome, one and all, to this week's Strip Club Yelp reviews on the Waffle Box podcast. This week we are traveling to New York City, where we go to Sapphire Club. Ooh. Fancy.
It sounds fancy. It sounds very expensive. It sounds like $40 to get into the door.
I mean, if I've learned one thing from doing this segment over the last couple of weeks, strip clubs are very expensive. Like,
well, the whole point is draining your wallet. So yes, strip clubs are always expensive. However, this one sounds super expensive.
Well, let's see if they're
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Well, first review, Able C writes, expensive to go. I went to one and they charged me $50 just to get in. So don't recommend the strip clubs. Plus, sometimes you start thinking about Jesus, and start trying to be someone in life. It's good to tip the bartender, but have drinks in the car so you can tip the strippers and help pay their bills.
What?
I even give them $10 just when they're sitting with me. That's what I do. 2 stars. Not sure where Abel's. I think Abel's a little bit all over the place writing that review.
All over the goddamn place.
But nothing against religious people.
He feels like he's a hostage. He feels like he's a hostage. He was like, yeah, the only way I can get out of this place is if I give you more money. So here's $10 for sitting with me.
As he's staring at his "What would Jesus do" bracelet.
He's probably got that on, actually.
I think Jesus would be a nice tipper of the ladies of the night. I mean, he looked after, what was her name? Mary Magdalene?
Jesus was a bomb.
Wasn't she a hooker?
So there are 2 Marys.
There's
mother.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not saying Mary's mother was a hooker. She was a saint, literally.
Yeah, but there is a Mary the whore.
I don't think that's exactly how it's written in the Bible, though, is it?
Marry the whore. Yeah.
And then entered the scene, Mary the whore. Oh, Jesus, you got any spare change? Oh, Mary, here comes Mary the whore again.
And she's actually got one of those coin belt. She's got a strap around her waist with the coin thing where she can give you nickels, she can give you dimes, she can give you quarters if you want. She can give you those Sacagawea dollars. Like, yeah, she's got that belt on. That's a dated reference. And if you weren't around in the 80s in America, I can't speak for you, Mike Fish. You don't get that reference.
No, I don't. But I was willing to smile and make you feel good about yourself.
You smiled. I saw that smile. I appreciate it.
Next review, Sarah L writes, came here one night with a platonic male friend. No one's judging you on Yelp, Sarah. You didn't have to.
They're all platonic.
So yeah, we came here one night with a platonic male friend to do something a little different. Even though it was a Tuesday night, this place was so much fun. The waitresses were all dolls and the dancers were a ton of fun. The music was great. I even had a vegan burger. When I got the champagne munchies, and it blew me away. I've never heard of anyone with the champagne munchies. I've heard of, munchies after some marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
But champagne munchies, is that a thing?
There's definitely a munchies involved with alcohol. She just happened to be drinking a lot of champagne.
But you normally, like, at least from my experience, whenever you get hungry when you're drunk, you normally just want like dirty, greasy, like kebabs or halal food from the street
Hot wings,
corner,
hamburgers. Yeah. Like,
all the above.
I hear what you're saying.
Nice vegan burger, apparently. I ordered it without the bun, so it would be gluten-free. And the presentation was phenomenal. I personally thanked the chef. Everyone was ready to make my experience great and was so appreciative of my tips. Best strip club I've ever been to, and bonus points for the late night gluten-free, soy-free, plant-based, whole grain vegan options. 5 stars. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's great that she gave a 5-star review, but god damn, I literally, like, my nose started to bleed when you went into that final. That wasn't even a sentence. That was the whole word.
Gluten-free, soy-free, plant-based, whole food vegan options.
Yeah, you couldn't even do that.
Even though she gave the strip club 5 stars, her review does not make me want to go to the strip club.
No, no.
Unless I was vegan, then I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Her review is not pulling me into the strip club. It doesn't make me want to go to the strip club, but it is not pulling me into the strip club, to be fair. She's just being a weird New York bitch who's a vegan, apparently.
There's a bunch of them in New York. Anyway, next review, Laura S. She writes, man, I really love this club. Came here on Halloween with my girlfriend who was dressed up as Britney Spears. Up to you to guess which Britney. 5 stars. That was her review. I came here with my girlfriend who was dressed up like Britney Spears. You guess which Britney Spears. I don't give a fuck which Britney Spears it was.
She's actually got a couple of different looks.
Yeah, but like,
she's not the naked Britney Spears on Twitter from 2 years ago, but yeah, okay.
But why would I want to guess if I'm never going to find out this answer?
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to be laying there, like awake in the middle of the night, sweating. Like they're to know.
They're promoting themselves more than they're promoting the club.
Was she wearing a red skin tight cat suit? Like, oops, I did it again. I don't know.
Is she wearing this cheerleader uniform? Is she wearing the schoolgirl outfit? But yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're promoting.
Was she topless, waving knives randomly? That was a more up to date Britney Spears.
She's probably not doing the knives gimmick, but that would be the most recent iteration of Britney Spears. But yeah. I get what you're saying, and yeah, that's dumb review.
Let's see if we can work our way up again. Clifford W. writes, went on a Friday night. Not one good-looking girl.
Really?
I take that back. One Bulgarian girl with an amazing body, but her face was like a horse. Maybe it was a bad night. I will try again. 1 star.
Fucking hell, dude. Clifford, you're giving this review in real time?
That would be actually quite funny if he's like mid lap dance with his phone, writing a review, like live tweeting it. There's not one good looking girl in it. Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, I take that back. Oh, she looks all right. Oh, horse face. Oh, never mind. I'll try again on another night.
Jesus Christ, Clifford. Yeah, man. People are weird. People are really fucking weird. So, yeah, based on that, I would love to check out this club in New York City.
Well, there's one final review. Let's see how it goes.
Oh my God. Let's go.
I know. It's 5 reviews this week.
Yeah, this is great.
Hugh R. writes, went there once, bought a drink, looked at a girl. Okay, 3 stars. Thanks,
Looked at a girl.
Looked at a girl.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
I guess she was okay. 3 stars, not a bad review, I guess.
Well, he doesn't look at the girls at the coffee shop. He doesn't look at the girls at the library. He doesn't look at the girls on the subway. He went to that spot just to look at a girl. And he saw a girl, and he was like, that's a girl. Hooray.
I want to read his diary.
I mean,
went to work.
He's got
on
multiple
a train,
diaries, and
sat
you're
on
going
a
to be
seat.
like, oh no.
1 star.
Joe Biden, run. If you can run, Joe Biden, please run. Oh no. Run away as fast as you can.
So yeah, this week's a mixed bag of reviews, I guess. So it's up to you if you wish to travel to New York City and check out Sapphire. Clifford seems all right, and if you're a vegan, Sarah highly recommends this place. So there you go.
Again, Sapphire does not sound like a cheap fucking club. Like, we got the elite clubs here in San Francisco, but we also got like, maybe you just want to treat this like a bar. We got that club too, but there are also half-naked women around all the time. Yeah. Sapphire does not sound like a cheap club, so the fact this guy spent $50 to get in, again, I estimated 40, but $50 made these folks go like, yeah, there's some ugly bitches in here. Well, I'm like, I don't believe you, sir.
It made Abel think of Jesus.
It made a guy think of Jesus. Fucking hell.
So is that a bad thing, or is that a good sign? Like, if you walk into a strip club and you think of Jesus, could be a good club. Good club. I don't know.
Great question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Are you walking? Oh! Wow, this club so good that Son of God would be here. I don't know.
Ideas. Yeah. No, it's bueno.
Anyway, Sapphire, New York City. Check it out, or don't. I don't care.
Or don't. Yeah, we get nothing out of it.
As always, if you do go, tell them Waffle Box sent you and see their reaction. Anyway, speaking of reviews, it's now time for Kush to talk about a movie in a segment that we like to call Kush's Movie a Review.
Kush's Movie Review.
This week's movie review is Twisters, a movie about some 1960s dance halls where one guy created a new trend of twist and shouting. And so it's like, hey, there's just a gang, and they were the best at the twist, and so they were called the Twisters, and they would walk in and start twisting all over the place. The end. It's the best I could do. I last minute thought of that. Don't think that's really what this movie's about, but I'm sure it's has something to do with all the other movies that were called Twister or Twisters and Twisting. I'm sure it involves some dumbasses in a car driving in the wrong direction towards tornadoes.
Yeah, we are talking about Twisters, plural. It's a PG-13 movie. It is 2 hours and 2 minutes, and despite what Universal Pictures and Warner Brothers Studios would like to tell you, it's not really. They say it's not related to the first one. However, I'm here to say it's the same goddamn movie. So some things have been switched over here and switched over there and did this and they did that, and you know what? The previous movie from 1996 was okay. The movie in 2024 also okay. Like, I had a good time. I'm hearing the best reviews of this movie are coming out of the 4DX experience. That's a very limited subscription, by the way. So if you want to see something in 4DX, apparently you need to see Twisters. The last 4DX movie I saw was Godzilla -1, and that thing was so violent. Wasn't disrupting to me, however, but my drink, I didn't have a very full drink, but this much drink, half of it spilled on the floor. And I was just like, all right, I guess, well, whatever. But that was the enjoyable experience. Otherwise, like, I believe I reported here about Jason Statham's The Beekeeper. And I was like, yeah, man, at one point, Jason Statham, like, fakes he's gonna punch the guy, but he didn't punch the guy, but the whole seat's just buckled anyways. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. So apparently this was a very good one to see in 4DX. However, I saw it in RPX, which is the real cinema's equivalent of IMAX. It's fine. Again, it's Twister from 1996. Some details have been changed. Some characters have been moved around. The guys that are grungy, that were the heroes in the first movie, they're now kind of the villains, but then they're not. It's nothing special. Made double its budget this weekend, or double its expectations, I should say.
Oh,
people thought they was going to make like 40 million this weekend, nationally. I don't know what it did worldwide. Made $83 million this weekend. That's a big goddamn deal.
That's nothing to shake a stick at, as they say.
Yep. So I had a good time. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I did want to go back and see Twister, singular, from 1996 before this review, and I didn't. And I don't feel bad about it. So I would have loved to have done a comparison, but that's not going to happen. So anyways, it's the same goddamn movie from 1996. Some things have been changed. The actors are good. Again, this is directed by Lee Isaac Chung. If you're wondering if that name is familiar, not many of you are going to think that name is familiar. He did Academy Award winning and nominated movie Minari from I believe it was 2019. I might be wrong about that. It's a very good movie, by the way. It's very small, very independent. So the fact that he's doing this huge blockbuster, it happens, but it's amazing he pulled it off. It's good for him. This is written by Mark L. Smith. He's responsible for it was supposed to be a Cloverfield movie. It would end up just being called Overlord. Again, it's zombie Nazis and Americans have to kill them. Great times. Overlord is a fantastic film. No one saw it, but again, it was a very limited thing, very small movie. etc., etc. The Revenant, Academy Award winning The Revenant, where Leonardo DiCaprio gets raped by a bear. He also did that. And then Joseph Kaczynski had a part in this. He did Top Gun Part 2, directed, written. I don't know why he's credited with this as a writer. But then again, we have to, despite Universal and Warner Bros. Going like, this is actually a completely unrelated movie. Michael Crichton and a woman named Anne Maurice Martin. I'm sorry, babe. I can't read my own handwriting. They're still credited with the first movie. So this is obviously a remake. You can call it a reboot. It's definitely
But
not
don't call it a
sequel.
comeback.
Don't call it a comeback by any means. And
Been
then
here for
again,
years.
Starring Miss Daisy Edgar Jones. I don't know anything she's ever been in. Glenn Powell. We mentioned Top Gun 2 just a minute ago. He's also been in Hitman, which we reviewed, and then Anything But You, which we didn't review. But I was like, yeah, this is actually a fun movie. This fun date movie. It's on Netflix now. I believe they're both on the Netflix. And then Anthony Ramos, who was in the last Transformers movie. So two people I know that are very intelligent, but for whatever reason they decide to be stupid and go like, Transformers boy is in this. And I was like, he's actually in the original Hamilton play, the Disney Plus presentation also, but he was in the actual goddamn play. I've not seen either of them. He's been in The Heights. He's been in a bunch of things, and I'm very annoyed.
So he's an
people are just calling
actor.
him-
He's an
actor.
He's an actor.
Yes. Mike Fish, you are correct. He is an actor. And I'm annoyed that people are just like calling him Transformers boy.
It's a terrible nickname.
Very terrible nickname. And then whenever I go to see any of these movies that I review for you, Mike Fish, I do a thing on Facebook. It goes out to Instagram. It goes out to Twitter/X. And I'm like, hey, here are these foreign movie posters of the movie I'm going to see. And goddamn, someone was just like, so Anthony Ramos is Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's son? I was like, what? Again, referring to the first movie from 1996.
Right.
Thinking it's a sequel. That's an honest thing. But I was like, what? At first I wanted to go like, no. Neither of those actors are Puerto Rican. Anthony Ramos is Puerto Rican. You can't say that though on Facebook, unfortunately. However, you can go like, do you really think that Anthony Ramos, quote unquote, who plays the character Javi, short for Javier, is the love child of Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt? If you don't know who any of those actors are, Google them, and you'll be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Of course, Anthony Ramos is not the love child of either of those two actors. So, anyways, the closest thing that distinguishes the two movies is there's a hurricane in Oklahoma, and at the beginning of the movie, they actually used the technology that was modern for the 1996 movie, and then they don't bring it up ever again at all. Several folks have talked to me like, well, I think Helen Hunt was supposed to be in this movie, who was supposed to play Daisy Edgar Jones's mom, but then they didn't get her. I was like, well, that makes her not a part of this movie, and that makes it not a part of a lineage, and that makes it a whole new movie. So we could just call this a reboot and a remake and a whatever. Again, this movie made double what its expectations were. It's entertaining. It's not great. It's not terrible by any means. But I, under no circumstances, want to see it again. I saw it on the biggest screen I could see it without it fucking making me motion sickness. And again, I had a good time. It's Twisters. It's PG-13. 2 hours, 2 minutes. Didn't actually feel a minute of it. So again,
you're not
I can
a
only
single
give it,
minute.
this is the second time in 2 weeks that I've said, like, yeah, we didn't cut a minute from this. It was fine. Anyways, 3 out of 5. I would like to give it more, but 3 out of 5. No one wants to see this on HBO Max. You want to see this on a big screen. You want to see this in a theater with other people. Maybe the 4DX is great. I've only heard great things about that experience. But you're going to be shaking a lot.
Just don't buy any expensive alcoholic drinks if you want to keep them in your hand.
Dude, seriously. And don't sneak in any alcoholic in because that shit will still spill on the floor. It's awful.
Disgraceful behavior. So there you go. Twisters. 3 out of 5. Check it out on a big screen if you want. Or don't. Use your own free
If you
will.
don't see it on the big screen, you're not going to see it.
Facts.
Or you shouldn't see it.
Just the facts, ma'am.
3 out of 5. Well, let's wrap up this week's show by making everyone at home feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's now time for this week's feel-good story of the week.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
This week's feel-good story comes to us from Miami Township, which I believe is in Florida. But don't quote me on that. Anyway, no, actually, don't do that because I saw Miami Township and I was like, boom, that's where it is, Miami Township. I thought of Miami, Florida, but apparently it's in Ohio. There's a Miami in Ohio, apparently. Look at that.
Frisco, Texas, I guess. I mean,
just the facts, ma'am.
So stupid.
We're learning here on Waffle Box. So although Miami, Ohio doesn't sound as fun as Miami, Florida, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
How disappointed would you be to go to Miami thinking you're going to Florida and then end up in Ohio?
It's kind of like, there's a Paris is it Alabama?
Paris, Texas.
Paris in Texas, so whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, this Ohio police officer came to the rescue of a desperate mother in the early hours of the morning. Corporal Hunter Willoughby of the Miami Township Police Department received a frantic phone call from a postpartum mother who was unable to feed her 1-week-old infant due to her milk drying up. Dun, dun, dun.
Gross.
It was 3 a.m. Don't say gross. It's nature, Kush.
Nature's gross.
Anyway, so it's 3 a.m. and she was panicking as she couldn't find anywhere to buy formula to feed her baby. Without hesitation, Corporal Willoughby sprang into action. He rushed to the nearest store, Maya. Apparently, there's a store called Maya.
Sure.
Only to find that it was closed at that hour. Undeterred, he knocked persistently until he caught the attention of an employee. Understanding the urgency of the situation, the employee opened the doors, allowing Corporal Willoughby to purchase baby formula and bottles. With the formula and bottles in hand, Corporal Willoughby personally delivered the much-needed supplies to the grateful mother. His act of kindness didn't end there. He refused to accept any payment for the items, choosing instead to support the mother in her time of need. The body cam footage has since garnered widespread praise, showcasing the officer's dedication to serving his community with compassion and empathy. Well, there you go. That was a feel-good story until Kush went, ugh, gross.
I got some more to think. I got some more thoughts about it, but I'm just gonna. I just want this to be a feel-good story.
Yeah,
I don't want to criticize. No, let's
The only
not,
thing I'm going to
let's just
criticize.
let this be the feel good story, and let's not Kush criticize.
Well, I'm going to
We can do a whole
criticize.
segment called Kush criticizes.
Oh, that could be fun. I'm just going to criticize the person who wrote this article, where it said that he personally delivered the much needed supplies. Like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. He went to the store, bought them. What was he going to do?
Yes.
Hey, give it to the person that works at the store. Right, go. You do it. I've done my bit.
I guess we're into Kush criticizes. He
Oh,
banged on so many doors before he found the guy who worked at the store. That means he woke up so many people. If you woke up more than 2.
Well, I can't imagine people were sleeping inside the store.
At 3 a.m. though, around the store.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. He went around the neighborhood hoping to find an employee who might have the key. And that guy just might work there.
I don't know. The body cam footage
key.
showed he was just banging on the door of the store for a long time until someone from inside the store went, what the fuck's going on? But yes, still, your point stands. I'm sure there were people who lived nearby who could hear this banging probably going on for like 10, 15 minutes.
So that part's New York. That part's New York, and those folks are actually used to it. And if they're not hearing just random people banging and yelling in the street, they don't fall asleep. I don't understand it, but that is actually a fact.
Anything else?
My fishy would not survive there. Yeah, man. Fucking God damn it, dude. Fucking you're a smoker. I was a smoker. When I got down to 5 cigarettes, I didn't wait to exhaust those 5 cigarettes. I got more cigarettes before I ran out of those 5 cigarettes. Like you know you have this much baby formula. Oh, now you have no more baby formula.
Well,
you should have got more baby formula before 3 in the morning.
Well,
and by the way, babies go 3 more formula than with cigarettes, in theory.
Let me defend this mother.
Oh, dude.
Because she didn't realize she needed baby formula because her milk dried up. So she was breastfeeding the baby normally.
No, this wasn't a guy banging on the doors. This was the mom?
No, okay. So the mother was at home with the baby.
Yes.
Breastfeeding the baby.
Dig it. I got that part.
And then her breast milk suddenly, unexpectedly, dried up. So she had nothing to feed the baby.
I understand that part.
Then was like, oh shit, now I need formula. And she called the police. And this policeman went to the store and banged on the window. The end.
This is so criticizing further.
Oh.
This is the exhaustive.
I thought I was helping you, mother, but apparently I've made things worse.
You're making the police waste resources, dude.
I mean, I don't know.
This is why I didn't call 911 the other day. I called the non-emergency number.
Well, maybe she called the non-emergency number. We don't know that. But also, at the same point, maybe we don't, Miami Township in Ohio. I don't know. Is there much going on there?
Had police actually come out for her breast milk. I don't care what number. If she called 3 numbers or 7 numbers, this dumb bitch had people come out for her breast milk.
Because her baby was hungry. You called him just because you didn't like the smell of a man sleeping in your backyard.
I don't smell him, but still, a man shouldn't be sleeping in your backyard either.
And a baby needs to eat, Kush.
A baby does need to eat, but guess what? You have an alternative. You get formula. That's what formula is.
That's the whole point. She didn't know where to find formula at 3 a.m., so she asked the local policeman.
You get formula before 3 a.m. Someday my tits.
Well, she didn't know she needed it before that, did she? Because she was using her breast milk.
She knows other women who have had children, and go like, at some point, your tit's gonna run out of milk. Get some formula for that baby. This is the worst feel story we've ever had.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
In 159 episodes. This is the worst feel-good story we've ever had.
Well, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Christopher.
I'm not mad at that.
Beautiful. Well, there you go.
I still love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Thank you.
That wraps up in a nice little bow. Another episode of Waffle Box, episode 159. If you are watching the YouTube version, do please give us a thumbs up to help the algorithm. Let us know what you thought in the comment section, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. If you are listening to other platforms like Spotify, you can leave us like 5-star reviews and all that good shit. That again helps the algorithm, helps us get in front of more people. We sure as shucks would appreciate it. Christopher, have you got anything to plug?
I'm going to be working the National Hot Rod Association event this weekend in Sonoma County, California. That's all I got.
If you're in the area, swing on by, say hi to Kush.
You won't see me. There you
go. Oh. Marvelous. Anyway, check us out at Waffle Box on Twitter, at Waffle Box Pod on Facebook and Instagram and all that bollocks. I am Mike Fish, with a Y, not an I. He is Cushford Hayes on Facebook. Engage. And if you do want us to leave us a voice note, give us a call on 347-559-5227. That's 347-559-5227. And I'll play your voicemail on next week's episode, which is 160. Wow. And we'll be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine coming to a movie theater now. Check it out. Highly recommend it. Right, before we wrap up the show, before we end the show, let's play a little game. Kush, how much money do you reckon Deadpool and Wolverine will make in its opening weekend?
$200 million.
200 million. Are we going? Oh wait, is that domestically? Just domestically? Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Domestically. I am gonna go.
Everyone wants to see this.
So that's Kush 200. I'm gonna go 300. Fuck it. 300 million.
Okie dokie.
Let's see who's right next week. It's a good night for me. It's a good night from him. Lathan. Final thoughts?
Another solid show in the history books. I think we were able to dabble into the politics talk without it being too bad after all. How about next week we take a stab at religion? What could go wrong?
Maybe not. Until next week. Take care of yourselves. And each other.
That's all, folks.
Play me off, Johnny.